This Star Wars character is a complete mystery. I'm not talking about Luke, Han Solo, Leia, or even Darth Vader. The character I'm talking about is called Willrow Hood, and you've probably never heard of him before. In The Empire Strikes Back during the Cloud City scene, a background extra has been catching fans' attentions for years. There he is. Sideburns, mustache, orange jumpsuit, and most noticeable, the man is carrying an ice cream maker under his arm. A prop that obviously does not belong in the Star Wars universe. But there's more about this character. Thanks to this small detail, this character has now reached cult status and has become a true icon. He has an action figure modeled after him, thousands of fans dress up like him every year at Star Wars conventions, and he has an entire mission dedicated to him in the latest LEGO Star Wars video game. In short, Willrow Hood has now become an iconic character. Everything surrounding this character is pretty amusing, but there's one problem. To this day, nobody knows the real identity of this man. The actor who plays Willrow Hood is completely anonymous. For over 20 years, die-hard Star Wars fans have been trying to find him to let him know about the cult status of his character. Is this man still alive? Is he aware that thousands of fans have been searching for him for years? I needed an answer, and so I decided to investigate to solve the Willrow Hood mystery. And what I've discovered is truly amazing. Just before we delve into this, I just wanted to mention that what you're about to watch is an investigation I conducted 7 months ago. I already made a video about it, but it's in French because for those who don't know, I have a French YouTube channel. So what you're about to watch is a translation of that video. I'm gonna be posting a new video in the coming weeks on how I managed to find the anonymous singer who did Gizmo's voice in the movie Gremlins. She was anonymous for like 40 years and I made a whole investigation to find her. So if you're interested in that, don't forget to subscribe. That's pretty much all I had to say, so let's get back to the investigation. So let's start from the beginning. In The Empire Strikes Back, Willrow Hood can be spotted precisely 1 hour, 47 minutes, 44 seconds and 18 frames into the film. He appears on screen for just over a second. However, this brief appearance was all it took for Star Wars fans to transform this simple background character into a true icon. After the movie's release in 1980, fans began to notice this strangely out-of-place background actor carrying an ice cream maker under his arm. However, it wasn't until 1997 that the character was finally given a name. Thanks to the Star Wars customizable card game, he was officially named Willrow Hood. And from that point on, the legend of the ice cream maker guy started to spread. Hasbro released an action figure modeled after the character, complete with a tiny ice cream maker accessory, and then a few years later, in 2012, the first Willrow Hood gathering was held. To delve deeper into this, I spoke with Florian Widemann, one of the founders of this event.
Yeah, this is how it started.
Florian is German. He is a member of the 501st Legion, one of the largest Star Wars cosplay group in the world, boasting over 14,000 members.
In the beginning of 2012 something, there was a Star Wars celebration coming up. This is the biggest Star Wars convention in the world.
The Star Wars Celebration, the world's largest convention dedicated to Star Wars, is hosted annually in a different country. And in 2012, it was set to take place in Orlando, Florida.
I prepared my costume, so an orange jumpsuit, some jackboots, wig, mustache, and of course an ice cream maker. So I imported from the US an ice cream maker to Germany in order to take it back to the US for the celebration. So
and with that, the running of the Hood was born.
We were around 20 people. Yeah, it was a super fun experience.
However, in the years that followed, the gathering started to expand. Over the years, the running of the Hood eventually became a tradition of the Star Wars celebration. And now, every year, hundreds of fans run through the convention chanting ice cream. Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. The ultimate recognition came when this seemingly trivial anecdote served as direct inspiration for Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni during the creation of the first season of The Mandalorian.
This is based on Willrow Hood's famous ice cream maker.
Because there's a bunch of people at Celebration that dress up as a character that they've named Willrow Hood. So we took the ice cream maker and made it the thing like in Pulp Fiction when you open the golden briefcase light.
The ice cream maker is now an official item in the Star Wars universe, known as a Camtono, and according to Star Wars lore, it's used to transport valuable items. Recently, the 2022 video game LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga paid tribute to the character by dedicating an entire mission to him.
You must help escort this data to its destination. Thank you, Willrow. With this important device restored, we can ensure the customers, rebels, get fed. Oh, with data.
Okay, I'm sure that by now you understand the impact this character has had on the fans and his significance to the Star Wars extended universe. So how is it that in 43 years no one has ever been able to identify the actor who played Willrow Hood? To be honest, it's kind of strange that we still don't know who this guy is, cause we actually know the identity of many of the extras who appeared in the Star Wars movies. For instance, you might remember this guy who bumps his head in A New Hope. Well, actually, we know his real name. He's called Laurie Good. There's also this character in The Phantom Menace who appears for just like 1 second, yet the actress who portrayed her has been identified. Her name is Michonne Boryeg. Even Kit Fisto, a character who graces the screen for just a few seconds in Attack of the Clones, despite his brief appearance, his real identity is known to us. He was portrayed by Zachariah Jensen. Although these individuals, just like Willrow Hood, were not credited in the movies and credits, Star Wars fans have identified them one by one, and many of them are now regularly invited to various Star Wars conventions. So the fact that Willrow Hood, the iconic background extra who's carrying an ice cream maker, has never been identified is kind of crazy. In 2014, fans even launched a Facebook page named Find Willrow Hood to share information and to collectively uncover the identity of this background actor. Yeah, I'm not lying when I tell you that fans really want to know who this guy is. So that's when I decided to investigate to solve the Willrow Hood mystery. So where do we begin to uncover this guy's identity? Remember, we are starting more or less from scratch. We have absolutely no information about this guy, except this 1 second clip of him running from like 43 years ago. Besides, his face is quite blurry in the video, so it makes it quite hard to really see his facial features. It seems like this mystery is gonna be a bit hard to solve. The first thing I tried was to do a little research on the casting directors of The Empire Strikes Back, because that could be a really good lead to kick off the investigation. So I found 3 casting directors in the movies and credits: Irene Lamb, Terry Liebling, and Bob Edmiston. So I did a bit of digging and I found out that Terry Liebling died in 2001. I couldn't find anything on Bob Edmiston. I couldn't find anything useful either on Irene Lamb. So yeah, the investigation is off to a pretty good start. But actually, even if I could manage to find those people, I doubt that they could be of much help in this investigation. The movie is 43 years old and I really don't think those people kept the archives for the extras who appeared in the Star Wars movies. So I think we're gonna have to find another way to solve this mystery. So I kept on digging as best as I could, but to be honest, I wasn't really finding any useful information. Yeah, I'm not the first trying to find Willrow Hood's real identity. The challenge is quite tough to overcome. But there's one thing that's never been tried before in the search for this extra, and that thing is facial recognition. So there's this website called PMIs, where you can simply slide in a picture with a face and PMIs will pull up a bunch of photographs with similar faces. So I tried this method with a picture of Willrow, and without surprise, it only suggested me a bunch of other images of Willrow Hood, so I wasn't making much progress. However, among these results, one picture catch my eye. This one. I think we can all agree that this guy does look a bit like Willrow. When I clicked on the image, it took me to a Swedish article ranking the 6 most iconic James Bond outfits. At first glance, this article may not seem relevant to our investigation at all. However, upon closer inspection, I came across this image. And what's interesting about this image is not Mr. Bond's splendid white suit, but rather the background actor standing right behind him. Okay, so it says that the still is from the movie Octopussy, so I fast forwarded the film, looked for the scene, and bam! There he was. Honestly, I really think that's our guy. Same mustache, same sideburns? It sure looks a lot like Willrow Hood. Plus, the 2 movies were filmed just a few years apart. And what's most intriguing is that the 2 films were shot right next to each other. The Cloud City scenes in The Empire Strikes Back were filmed at Elstree Studios in North London, England, while Octopussy was shot at Pinewood Studios, located approximately 30 kilometers from Elstree Studios. Maybe the actor who played Willrow Hood lived in the nearby area. Locals were usually chosen as extras for these kinds of productions, so there's a good chance that our guy lived in Hertfordshire, the county just north London. At this point, I reached out to Debbie McWilliams, Octopussy's casting director. However, I did not receive any response from her. But honestly, even if she had replied, I don't think she could have provided the information I was looking for. The film was shot in 1983, 40 years ago, so it's highly unlikely she still has the names of the extras who appeared in this particular scene. Okay, so it seems that that I found the same actor in another movie. That's great. However, I still don't have any details about his identity. How am I going to find this guy? As of now, the only lead we have is his appearance for only a few seconds in 2 different 80s movies. And we also have a potential location, North London suburbs, and more specifically, the Hertfordshire County. As previously mentioned, I'm not the first to try finding Willrow Hood. In fact, in 2021, an article made its way into the Hertfordshire Mercury. That's the newspaper for the Hertfordshire County. This article was prompted by Kevin Lewis.
Kevin Lewis, a longtime Star Wars fan and resident of Somerset, Kentucky, got in touch to ask for the appeal in a bid to finally solve a 4-decade-long mystery about who the actor is.
Kevin Lewis is a die-hard Star Wars fan, and he's also been on a quest to find Willrow Hood for around 2 decades.
One of my first contacts was actually just reaching out to Elstree Studios, and that's when they told me they had no records. Elstree Studios had changed hands multiple times through the years. My next step was to look at, well, maybe I can get in contact with the casting directors. So again, kind of hit a dead end there. Oddly enough, in 2022, I got contacted by the archivist for Elstree Studios. He thought he might have the original call sheets from The Empire Strikes Back, but he was unable to find them, unfortunately. By this time, I'm really getting rekindled into trying to find out who this guy is, so I reached out to Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm doesn't know who the actor was, and that's kind of where my search left off.
Kevin has tried almost everything to find the actor, and in 2021, he tried contacting the Hertfordshire Mercury.
I just asked if there was anybody on their roster that would be able to do an article to maybe try to get to the bottom of this, and one of their reporters contacted me through email. He was really excited about it because he was a Star Wars fan, and he ran the article, and there was no response. I could not believe there was no response at all.
There was no response to this article. It means that the actor who played Willrow Hood or his family members didn't came across it. This is so frustrating. I need to find this guy. He probably has no idea that his character has become an iconic figure among Star Wars fans. He needs to know that there's an action figure modeled after him, that his character is mentioned in books, appears in video games, and that each year hundreds of fans dress up like him at Star Wars Celebration.
Somebody out there has to know who this guy is, and he probably has no idea how big of a cultural phenomenon he's actually become.
So I got back to searching. I carefully examined everything that has been posted on the Find Willrow Hood Facebook page, and suddenly I came across an intriguing message. Someone posted this.
I was chatting with him last year, or maybe it was the year before that. Can't remember well. We were laughing because he was calling himself the 1 second guy. He was just figuring out an action figure had been modeled after him. But by now, I can't find him in my friends list.
Okay, this could be interesting. So I decided to send him a DM, plus the guy was French, just like me, so I wrote my message in French. Hi there. 7 years ago, you posted a message on the Find Willrow Hood Facebook page. Can you please confirm the information you provided in that comment? He never responded, so the guy was probably just lying. I continued to browse the Find Willrow Hood page, and then I stumbled upon a picture that sparked my interest. 2 years ago, Greg Rudevics posted a photo with this comment.
I found this photo of him in an episode of Minder. Same guy!
Minder is a British TV show that was broadcast from the late 70s to the early 90s. At this point, I'm thinking, the series was shot in London in the 80s, so it aligns perfectly. And if I can pinpoint the exact episode this image is from, perhaps I could identify the actor's name in the episodes and credits. There's just one small problem. Minder is a 10-season long show, with a total of 114 one-hour-long episodes. Not gonna lie, I really don't have the courage to endure 114 hours of an 80s British TV show just to find out that the guy isn't even mentioned in the credits. So yeah, I'm not going down that route, so I don't think this picture will be of much help in my investigation. Unless, what if I ran this image through PMIs? Maybe it would give me a different result? Alright, so I'm going to try that. Okay, we're already getting results that link back to Willrow Hood, so it's probably the same actor. But even more intriguing, we have another result, this picture. When I click on it, it takes me to a Portuguese article discussing several horror movies from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The image we're interested in is right there. It's taken from the horror movie The Vault of Horror, and we can spot the exact same extra at 33 minutes and 49 seconds in a scene in The Vault of Horror. However, his name is still not mentioned in the credits. This investigation is turning into a complete nightmare. We now have 4 different pictures of the same actor in different films, and yet we still have no information about his identity. But when I uploaded this image to PMIs, I discovered something else. A photo of an elderly man. It kind of looks like Willrow, so that could potentially be a lead. The problem was that I really struggled to find where this image was from. The link takes me to a paywalled article about documentary production for Channel 4. In short, I'm completely lost. But after some digging, I discovered where this image was from. On March 4, 2011, a documentary aired on Channel 4. This documentary was part of the series First Cut, which is a series dedicated to showcasing the work of first-time filmmakers. The episode is titled Asian Gracefully. It is directed by Fozia, and the picture of the elderly man that I was talking about is taken from this episode. So I managed to get a hold of this documentary, and when I pressed play, I was absolutely astounded.
That's my album. All my photographs, many films I have worked in. I was an extra. Those days it was extra, nowadays they call supporting artist.
Hold on. First of all, what's this documentary about? The First Cut episode titled Asian Gracefully tells the story of Ashna House, a retirement home located in the suburbs of London, catering specifically to Asian residents. The episode focuses on several residents, such as Mrs. Ramji, who suffers from Alzheimer's disease, or Mr. Sen, that's how he's referred to in the episode, a 78-year-old man who recounts in an interview that he used to be a background actor in many films.
That's me in film Temple of Doom with Harrison Ford. That's me again, Christopher Reeves in film Superman. He was a very nice person. That's me with film director Steven Spielberg. And this fellow, Saeed Jafri, he's famous now. He used to work as an extra with us. He still owes me 3 pounds.
But now we're facing 2 new problems. The first issue is that he doesn't mention Star Wars at all during the interview. He never brings up The Empire Strikes Back. So there is still a possibility that we have the wrong person, even though he really does look a lot like Willrow Hood, to be honest. And the second problem is that we don't have his first name. Throughout the entire documentary, he's only referred to as Mr. Sen, so I only know his last name. So I did some research on the internet, but at first I couldn't find anything, until I finally came across this article from The Guardian that specifically mentions the Asian Gracefully documentary. And in this article, I finally found the full name of this man, Egbert Sen. I think I just solved the mystery. Actually, I'm not sure 100% that I solved the mystery, but I'm pretty confident in saying that this guy is Egbert Sen. I still need a final confirmation. Right now it's pretty late, so tomorrow I'm gonna make a call to the retirement house to see if Egbert is still alive. If he's still alive right now, he must be 90 years old. So see you tomorrow when I make the phone call. The next day, I called the retirement home. Now, I just needed a confirmation. Was Egbert Sen truly the actor who played Willrow Hood back in 1980? Hi, I'm trying to contact a man named Egbert Sen.
Sorry, what's your name?
Egbert Sen. Do you know him?
No one here. Can you call back tomorrow, please?
Okay, thank you very much. They couldn't tell me if he was there or not. So just like they told me to, I tried calling the next day. And so the following day...
Good afternoon, Asna. Business speaking.
Hi, I called yesterday to know if Mr. Sen lived at Ashna House. Do you know him?
Yes, before he leave, he's passed away.
Oh, okay. Do you know when he passed away?
He is passed away 2019.
Do you remember him ever talking about a role he did in Star Wars?
No, he's talking about he did before in playing role, he singing like that. I know that history, but I don't know.
You don't know the roles that he played?
No, I I don't know. Egbert Sen's son, Kenneth Sen. The daughter also is Paula, her name, but I couldn't find out her phone number. You talk to son
Yeah.
will provide you information.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
No problem, bye.
Have a nice day, bye. So, I now know that Egbert Sen died in 2019. Sadly, he will never know the love that Star Wars fans gave him for decades. I now have his son name and phone number, so I'm going to try to contact him. I don't want to disturb him, but I'm gonna try to give him a call, and we'll see how it goes. So I tried calling Egbert's son, Kenneth, using the phone number the retirement home had gave me. When I tried calling Kenneth Sen, something really strange happened. The phone wasn't ringing. The phone number was correct, I don't know why, but it simply wasn't ringing. So I tried to call Kenneth Sen, the son of Egbert Sen, but his number doesn't work. So I tried to call back the retirement home and they said the number was correct. So I'm now trying to find information on the guy on the internet. I'm going to keep searching and hope I can find something. But I couldn't give up. I searched everywhere for a way to contact his son or daughter. The problem was that every search I did for Kenneth Sen or Paula Sen gave me no results at all. I can't find anything. But miraculously, I managed to find Paula on Facebook. My guess was she probably had no idea her dad had a cult following. I needed to let her know everything, so I sent her a message. Hi Paula, my name is Nicolas Delage. I make videos about movies and I have a few questions I'd like to ask you about your father. Would you be available for a quick phone call? Okay, so I just sent a message to Paula, Egbert's daughter. Now we just have to wait and see if she answers me. And a few days later, I received a reply from Paula. However, it was not the reply I was hoping for.
The whole thing sounds a bit odd to me. My dad was never credited for any films, so it's all very strange how you made a connection. So thank you, but no thank you.
When I received that message, I swear to you, I was devastated. The last thing I wanted was to come across as some intrusive guy. All I wanted was to know if her father was the guy who played Willrow Hood. So I decided to write a long message explaining everything. I also sent her the Hertfordshire Mercury article and a Reddit post that summed up the whole situation. And most importantly, I explained to her that the only thing I wanted was to know if Willrow Hood was indeed her father. I sent the message, went to bed, hoping to receive a reply in the morning. Waking up the next morning, I rushed to my phone to see if Paula had answered me, and I had indeed received a message from Paula.
Oh my god, that's definitely my dad. And you know what? I've got more screenshots for you.
She then sent me a bunch of pictures of her father in various other films. And I was also pretty relieved not to come across as some weird stalker on the internet. And following this, I was able to talk to Paula and her sister Dolly during a short interview.
We're really like mind. We had no idea. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought you were a weirdo online. I thought, this is weird. This guy could be a stalker, you know. How did he find me? And there's no connection. I thought it was a bit odd. But until you explained it.
So I thought, hold on. And then I Googled Willrow Hood and I thought, oh my God. I can't believe that our dad has a cult following. He would have loved that.
And this interview was also the opportunity to learn about who Egbert Sen really was.
My dad was born in India but came to the UK in 1957 and his job was a musician, so he played Indian music.
At that time, a lot of immigrants were coming to England, so there was a program called Make Yourself at Home where the BBC were welcoming immigrants, and so they wanted them to feel at home.
He played Indian music for the BBC. The Indian music you hear on the Beatles film Help is my dad. He was a musician first, and at one of his gigs he met an agent who was looking for people who were not white, Indian people, black people, because this was the 1960s. There was very few extras that were people of colour, so that's how he got into it. And so he did stuff like The Saints with Roger Moore and all sorts of different things.
And in those days you got paid cash at the end of the day, so he would come home with takeaway food that we normally couldn't afford, and because he'd been filming that day. We lived in South London and he'd say, I'm off to Pinewood Studios or Elstree Studios. Elstree Studios is still, in fact I live very close to it now. It was normal for us for him to say, oh, I saw Harrison Ford today, or I saw Christopher Reeve today. And we grew up with it. Like Dolly herself was in Empire Strikes Back with my sister Sheila.
It's when, what is his name? Landon, I think, speaks to Han Solo and Princess Leia. And in the distance, there is a teacher who's got a whole load of children. My sister and I are one of the alien children. I think they used a group of children from a drama school, but they were all white. So I don't know how, I guess through my dad's agent, they said we need some children of different colours. And that's how my sister and I got involved. I think my dad's scene was later. He did it sometime later. And then he told me, they made me run. They made me run and I had to take my glasses off because they said there's no glasses in space. And I was running and I couldn't see where I was going.
Dolly and I joke because my dad was a kleptomaniac. He always used to steal stuff. As soon as we heard about this, we're like, I bet he wasn't even meant to take that bit of machinery and he was trying to steal it. Yeah. And also what I found funny as well, that a lot of people thought that, who's this black man, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, actually, my dad's Indian. He was actually Indian. But it's just, I just thought, there's more to him than people actually realise,
He had a tough childhood. You have to understand, like, the Indian culture, being a musician is really looked down upon, especially as both his parents were doctors. Our grandparents were doctors. As he didn't get the love and attention from his father, I think he looked for it elsewhere. He wanted to have attention. He wanted to have validation, be acknowledged. And the sadness is he kind of rejected the love of his children to chase this dream.
This dream, yeah.
So he never knew the cult following that he had on Star Wars?
No, it would have made, it would have fulfilled his dream. We know he's looking down now going, yes, He lived for glory. I think he thought he deserved something. He just wanted to be someone, I think. There are some memories that would rather be forgotten, but he did have a kind heart deep down, just a troubled background. And he was just hilariously funny, sometimes unintentionally and sometimes painfully badly funny. But it was funny because it was bad, He had a drinking problem. Had he not been drinking, he could have probably done really well. So he was his own downfall.
Worst enemy. I mean, when he died, I just said, in that coffin is a broken child. He wanted to be famous, and he went to his grave thinking he didn't reach that dream.
Yeah. And he had. For us, it's ticked a box that, I don't know, it makes us feel good that he got what he finally wanted. If he's watching down on us, he's thinking, yes, this is everything I ever wanted. You did something for us yesterday that has brought us a lot of peace as well, because it's something we wanted for our dad as well, and also a lot of pride. We're very, very proud.
Our life was strange at the start of the week. You have led it into an even stranger realm.
It's surreal, very surreal.
Yeah, very surreal.
Thank you. Like I say, you've made a very small family very proud. Very proud.
With this confirmation from the Sen family, one of Star Wars' greatest mysteries has just been solved. Egbert Sen was indeed the actor who played Willrow Hood, the ice cream maker guy, in The Empire Strikes Back.
He finally got the fame he never heard about, but his family knows it now, which is super cool, I think.
I'm just thrilled to death that we finally have an answer. That I'm very glad that finally the mystery's been solved.
So 7 months ago, the news got leaked a few days before I could release my French video. But anyway, fans seemed thrilled that we finally knew who this guy was. This whole investigation teaches us that every tiny detail in a movie carries a backstory. And sometimes beautiful surprises can emerge from paying close attention to something as simple as an extra dashing across the scene with an ice cream maker under his arm. If you like this investigation, consider sharing it on social media. That would really mean the world to me. Now watch this video if you want to learn about the story of the most disturbing movie ever made. That's about it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.